been a while since I did this, so. All right, call to order the Prairie Hill Community Consolidated School District number 133 in Winnebago County, our regular meeting. March 19th, 2025, and it is 5:34 p.m. Roll call. Where's the form? There is a form present. Sorry, thought we said that out. Oh, yeah, I probably know. Mr. Stallenbacher? Here. Mr. Hendrick? Anderson? Here. Mr. Keller?
Here.
Mr. Dixon? Here. Mr. Bell? Here. Mr. Carl?
Here.
All right, if you'd all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
the highlighted yellow. Maybe sale. I don't think we do. Well, do you get it? Nobody signed up to speak. I just wanted to make sure, is that accurate? We don't have any speakers? All right. Good. Got it. All right. First up, the Pride of Prairie Hill, which is the Literacy Task Force. It's coming. Wait.
Run away.
Not away. Okay, well, Jack isn't the only one like that.
Yeah.
You okay if I just keep going and we'll go back to Prairie Hill? Here. All right. Consent agenda. I'm looking for approval of the February regular meeting minutes, February committee meeting minutes, March bills totaling $273,190.48, March payroll $235,623.70, March treasurer's report, and the student activity fund. A motion to approve consent agenda. Yes. Yes. Mr. Keller?
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Anderson? Yes.
Yes.
Great. Administrator reports. Anybody going first?
Carter, it's all you. Yes, it's me.
I guess you.
Good to see all of you tonight. A few items for us. The book fair was a success in February over both the conference nights totaled. We did over $9,000 in sales. Just as a reminder, everybody's probably getting tired of the reminders, but the 5 essential survey needs to be completed really by Friday. So if you haven't done that, please do so. Our staff is in the middle of IAR preparations. Our testing will be the 3rd, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 14th. Jack's Corner update. The foundation found a contractor, a local family, and we're hoping to have construction and dedication May 17th is what we're shooting for, the weekend between Mother's Day and Memorial Day. So we're hoping things work that way. Scheduling and Safety Committee, we've been moving forward. We had a good meeting last week with the Scheduling Committee to better incorporate the new positions that the board approved last month. Now to best serve all the students. There's more to come. We've got some work left to do, of course. Met with the Safety Committee as well and reviewed our drill procedures, and we're developing plans for updating them for both our shelter-in-place tornado drill as well as evacuation. We'll be working through that for the remainder of the year. We did our last required drill. We did a tornado drill last week, and the students and staff did a great job. They took it very seriously. We are doing a coin war fundraiser for Hoo Haven. If you saw that communication come by on Friday, they did come and do a whole school assembly as part of the 4th grade service project. I have no idea how we're doing so far. I did hold a snake in front of the whole school, so I'm afraid of snakes. It worked out all right, I guess. We have our Friendship and World Down Syndrome Day assembly on Friday. So if you're in the building, please wear blue and or yellow. And thank you for posting the anticipated positions. I already have several really good candidates. So I'm receiving applications for the next couple of weeks, and my goal would be to fill those by April board meeting. No guarantees, but that's my goal. So thank you all.
Is this happening?
All right, on the Willowbrook front, we had a very successful round 2 of conferences. As you guys know, in the middle school, sometimes the spring conferences can be a little scarce, but we had a really full house, actually both nights in the spring, which was amazing. We also wrapped up Try-2, so we've officially hit the trimester 3, which is exciting. It's the time where everybody kind of looks forward to spring break, but then as soon as we get back from spring break, it flies by and we're all of a sudden into summer. Our 8th graders, or some of the 8th graders, went on their Washington, D.C. trip over Casimir Pulaski Day weekend. Andrea was one of the lovely chaperones that got to go on that trip.
Quite a time.
Yes, they had a great
You know, you can see so many things in such a short time.
They pack a lot in, that's for sure. We had Shakespeare Day here, where there is a gentleman from a theater company who comes in and does a full school presentation, and then the 8th graders specifically get to have him throughout the rest of the day because that's a unit they do every 8th grade year. 7th grade, recently, the science department, just this week, actually Tuesday, yesterday, they brought in the Burpee, which was really cool. The Burpee brought in live animals. I think they're actually probably reptiles, if I think I'm titling them correctly. And so kids got to go through rotations in 7th grade and touch and feel and look and explore and kind of have some science come to life, which is always fun. We're currently working on making sure that we're prepped. Kim Andrews, while you're here, I can note this for you, that we're all prepped and ready for IAR and ISA testing. Any changes that come out, we know the state loves to make changes on us every single year. She does all the legwork and making sure that we all have the information that we need to be able to successfully administer the test. So thank you to her. One big shout out that I would like to make sure that we're all aware of, something Mike Grimes started way back when, is the Tony Barlow charity game. That is tomorrow evening. So we raise funds and they all go to, the funds go to Defy, which is a domestic abuse shelter. The price to get in is just 3 canned goods. That's a fun event because all of our teachers get to play the volleyball, the varsity volleyball team, and all of our teachers get to play the boys first basketball team. So it's always good to see who wins and who will dominate. And I think usually we try to take that in the staff department. We try to put them down. So I'm assuming Mike will show up at some point, but Bailey Mitchell has taken the reins of this since he's retired. So if you can, even for a short bit of time, come out, support that. It's usually a great event. Lots of community members. Sessions are in full swing, and everything that we earn that night goes to the Defy shelter. So we look forward to seeing everybody here. Yep, all I got.
Just a few items. There's resolutions tonight to be approved for Vision 2030 that we talked about at the committee of the whole. Just a reminder, it's just a focus on future focused learning, shared accountability, predictable funding, and then collaboration and united framework. And essentially, it's not tying us to anything. It doesn't, we don't have to do something because we signed the resolution. It's basically just gives advocacy groups the ability to say, hey, these district signs on, common sense education, common sense funding, and they're in support of it. So that's on the agenda tonight to be approved. Quick update on the preschool playground. So Jimmy, Craig, and I took a look at some possible areas the other day. Just so happened that preschool was out there during that time. So we chatted with them, got some ideas. Jimmy is looking into different coding things from the Regional Office of Education, as well as our insurance, to make sure that there's nothing we need to be aware of. And then as we talked about, I think a few months ago or several months ago now, depending on, essentially the idea would be to just kind of do it in pieces. So that way it's not such a big project right up front. So the fencing will be the first thing, and then we'll kind of take a look at what it looks like on the inside. Preschool teachers have some really great ideas about what it should look like. So looking forward to incorporating that, maybe pairing with the PSA to help with that funding as well. Also on the agenda tonight is approval of the first student contract. That's a 5-year contract with our transportation system. Boys volleyball is also on there. That'll be a spring sport. And then we'll look to get that approved tonight. And then basically we'll look at how many coaches we need based on interest from the students, numbers, that sort of thing, and how many coaches that we might need based upon that. So, and then the final thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'm going to pass it to you, Kim Andrews, is the curriculum evaluation tool. Thank you for showing up.
I think you're here.
I knew you were coming.
You're gonna put it over.
Yeah, the curriculum evaluation should have been discussed as well. So Kim and I had a good conversation about that. Of course, she's already started rocking on it, and we'll see what that looks like. We'll get that to the board. You know, not super comprehensive, obviously, but just something that we're taking a look at, what we're doing, what we could be doing better. Started with math, and then we'll look at reading, and if we need to jump into some other content areas or grade levels with that, we'll definitely do that. So we waited till you got
Sorry.
here. You're fine. But we are recognizing the Literacy Task Force tonight for the Pride of Prairie Hill. And, you know, I guess it started, what, about a year ago now? or
Last
spring?
March, we started,
Yeah.
or I should say last January is when we presented the vision. Illinois has become, I want to say, the 39th or 42nd, who's counting, state to adopt some new literacy legislation that points to the fact that our literacy efforts should be tied to science and how kids learn how to read, instead of some of the other ways or other curriculums or other programs for teaching kids how to read that aren't necessarily backed by evidence. So we have done a really nice job with that. And there's a ton of movement that we've made in both school buildings. I would say that probably from an onlooker, in an onlooker's perspective, you probably see this most obviously at Prairie Hill, because we had frankly the most work to do there. We utilized a program that actually was a pretty common program, but was not backed by evidence at all. So we have done away with that since the materials still exist. We can use them, repurpose them for other reasons or in other ways. But thanks to you guys, we spent about $8,000 on decodables. And we have done a ton of trainings at Prairie Hill with the support of Mr. Carter as well. It's been really helpful in terms of teaching all of our staff about the importance of community awareness, explicit phonics instruction, where decodables, how decodables come into play in that. And I'm in there. I try and get in there once a week to kind of finish the job. Lori Dixon's been helping out too. Amy Smith has been helping out as well. It's just a lot of processing of new books. And we have a pretty sizable new section of the book room at Prairie Hill that is completely filled with 100% decodables, meaning that students have been explicitly taught how to read and spell, sound out every letter in combination of how it's presented in that book. So it starts with simple CBC, just a couple of words a page, and then it gets up to some really complicated phonetic rules and things like that as well. But we've done a lot of trainings, a lot of, and then here in this building, we've focused more on the upper strengths of the reading rope, and we're talking a lot about vocabulary. Your students, if you have middle school students, have been coming home with a word of the week, which has been kind of fun and that's pretty well supported by our staff as well. They send me pictures once a week. Usually I get about 1 or 2 pictures a week of how a student has integrated those words into the vocabulary, into some writing assignments. And we're also shifting the attention now to background knowledge, which is the idea that students can't get a whole lot of anywhere if they, in terms of comprehension, if they don't know anything about the world around them. So developing that background knowledge is our current aim at the middle school. That will likely be our next aim at Prairie Hill as well. We've been kind of making forward strides. So I want to take a second to acknowledge and thank some of the people here today who are on that committee with me. We've got Danielle Vanek and Melissa Henschel. She's today. Melissa Henschel and then Haley Guja, right? Representing Willowbrook Middle School here. And then at the other school, from the other school, we have Amanda Mortimer and Sarah Shevlin and Amy Esmander and Val Bauman and Amy Wright. I think that might be it.
I think you did pretty good.
Okay.
I think it's right here.
Okay, wow, that's great. Had I known, I would have asked for them.
Great job, Kim.
I wasn't interrupted.
But it's really nice to have the support of the staff, the support of the administration, the support of the board, you guys in this. It has not been a small endeavor. And frankly, Illinois was a little bit late to the game, if you ask me, but we were primed and ready. And as soon as that Illinois, what do I call it? Illinois literacy.
comprehensive literacy plan, or something like that, yeah. As soon as that was passed last spring, that we were ready to respond, and we've made a long way in terms of kind of making some significant strides here in the district. I'm in the book room, like I said, a lot, and it's really cool to see the swiftness with which like the codables get checked out. I checked in like, couldn't find a phonetic skill. I couldn't figure out for apple or when. I finally figured it out yesterday. And I was putting them away, and then got called out, and I came back like 10 minutes later. And all the books I had put away were already gone. And I'm like, what happened to all my DGE books? And Mandy Shockley was there, and she's like, oh, it just took literally all of those as their skill. Oh, because I got 4 more. So it's cool to see that such a significant, huge change in a short period. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
All right, I will have you guys come up and get your certificate. Were you gonna say something? Okay, I will say your names again, just so you get your certificates, and I know that most of you don't want to stick around too much longer. So, Amy S. Vander.
Mr. Sizik would like you all to be in a group picture after you have your certificate.
I saw you, so I was like, I don't work on that. Maybe right? Maybe don't.
No.
Or Van Order. Sorry, I don't call you by your last name. Valerie Ballman.
Like a press.
Very well. So, Kate Commission, thank you. News.
Like that.
Danielle Bannock. I haven't.
Yes.
Give me your. You're someone? Sorry.
All right, ready?
Do you want these? Or? Yeah.
Yeah, one more. Make sure that it's not really in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move on for the literacy committees, truly, we have been getting updates from Kim and from Clint. And we know that this is a lot of work. It's meaningful work, but it's also incredibly impactful work. So I think just from us to you guys, thank you so much for putting so much passion and heart and just intellect into it. You're also beyond capable of doing it. And it's been really, really good to see it. So we really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. All right, so this is also the moment when I tell anybody who doesn't want to stay any longer that they can go home if they'd like to. But we're gonna keep going. All right, subcommittee reports. Since there's a big enough group here, I will explain a little bit the change we made last month, which we also explained at the February board meeting. But the board went from having individual committee meetings that used to meet once a month. We would come back to the board meetings, report, kind of give a summary for anybody here and to each other, and then go about our voting. Starting in February, we switched to the committee of the whole process, which we also call the COW. And essentially, we are all meeting as one large group to discuss all the business, all the different subcategories, which is building, finance, education, transportation, policy. We discussed all that last week. We went all over board business kind of in detail. And then we will summarize them probably a little shorter than we used to in the past. So just kind of giving everyone a heads up on that, that the detailed information was given out last week at an open meeting. And those will continue to happen that way as far as at least we have planned so far. They will be the second Wednesday of the month, and then the board meeting will be the last Wednesday of the month if we continue as our current plan. So with that being said, building and finance. Anybody want to give a little summary of the few things we talked about?
Yeah, we can, I mean, we haven't, should we just go kind of speak with this a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever you feel comfortable.
I'll do the building and finance and the education little block. We just reviewed the consent agenda bill, so we didn't actually have much from a finance perspective, but I'll hit the building component. We talked a little bit about the city of South Beloit intergovernmental agreement that we voted on back in the fall. There were some legal updates to that. Clint has his superintendent evaluation, so we spent a little bit of time talking about our goal tracker and evaluations for everyone completing that ahead of time. I'll do that and close. Talked a little bit about lunch balances, working on some notification fixes, and then just ways to address the larger debts. Clint is working on that to get us some information by the end of the month. We had a quick discussion about the board members that are off the board next month and I'm building them. So Jason and I will find out next month how long we're in this seat and how long we're not. That's TBD.
Josh.
Thank you, totally fine. We'll stay the whole time. We also discussed, Clint talked about it, but we discussed Vision 2030. We all reviewed the document for that and talked about that. We spent some time talking about preschool playground, the code for that. So another building specific piece. Talked about boys volleyball, which is so exciting. Moving towards improving that sport for Willowbrook Middle School. Also talked about our trash delivery service and getting some bids out there to save some money. Spent some time talking about Jack's Corner. Really happy to hear that things are moving along and we are going to be making some updates there very soon. And we did appoint Kim as the board rep for the remainder of the project, just to make sure that in real time, there's just board, if there's any questions or any building specific components that need to be addressed or just analyzed or anything, Kim will be on top of that. Don't just keep going, so don't want to talk about. Yeah. Okay. We talked about the wellness survey that we did last school year, and so Lori has been really proactive in making sure that we're tying up all the loose ends on that. So thank you for that. So for any teacher who's here who is waiting on a next step for some storage and exercise ball, that is in motion. We are finishing up our strategic plan. We had a 4 or 5 year strategic plan. And so I created kind of a look back to go through all the items that we had committed to see what is done, what we want to move over to the next strategic plan. And then the incoming board, we discussed kind of what that will look like to come up with a new strategic plan the next 4 or 5 years, which Clint will spearhead. And then in policy, we just had working on the committee of the whole. It's actually been really nice for us all to be together to discuss different components of the committees. The conversations have been really great and really deep. But from a policy perspective, we're like fine tooth comb talking about policy. So that is a little bit of the interesting cadence that will have to be figured out moving forward. So Judson and I more just spent time kind of talking through how we can have a really efficient policy meeting while still staying really close to that work and not boring everybody else for 45 minutes. So that is also TBD, but that was another. That's what we ended on actually. And that's it.
Get them all. I got it.
Thanks.
Nobody has anything else committee related to bring up. I will entertain a motion to approve that Vision 2030 resolution that Clint talked about.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Need a motion to approve the first student contract. That is a 2025 through 2030 contract.
I'll make a motion to approve the new bus contract.
Second.
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yeah.
Mr. Walker? Yes.
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 This is super exciting for me. Make a motion to, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the boys volleyball and spring season sports starting in 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Anderson? Yes. Mr. Crouch?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
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 Yes. FOIA request?
We had two of them. We had Allium Data. They wanted copies of our property and casualty insurance. And then Smart Procure wanted our purchasing record from 12/19 of last year.
All right. At this time, we will be looking to go into executive session to discuss appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. 5(2)(c)(1), and also negotiations, 5(2)(c)(2). I get a motion to enter executive session? Motion.
I'll second.
Yes.
Anderson? Yeah. Keller?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
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 At this time, we just all step out for a little bit. I'm gonna go grab you.